Hey there, welcome to day 116, and we are reading Luke chapter 21, verses 1 through 19. So we see here the story of the woman or the widow who gives all that she has, the 2 coins, into the offering box at the church. And what we see here is Jesus recognizing her for her sacrificial giving. And what we also see is kind of what everybody else looks like. So we have a line of men basically at the offering box giving their tithes. And a lot of times, that could be a prideful thing where they're getting in line to make sure everybody sees them giving their offering. Could have just been a long line that day, but the way Jesus describes it, we know that he equates her giving to how we should give. And she had 2 mites, which was equivalent to basically 1% of, like 1 mite would be 1% of a day's wage. And so she gave 2 mites. And Jesus says that I tell you that she gave more than everybody here today. And that's how he wants us giving back to the church. He wants us to be sacrificial givers, but also to be cheerful givers. And so we have to be careful not to let that be another checkbox of our weekly event, to just check off that we tithe, that we gave back to God, but that we also are looking at our finances, deciding how much we're giving, making a plan for that, budgeting for that, and making that the first thing that we plan for each month as we look at giving back to God, and knowing that this is or should be a sacrificial gift, and so that we can give also with a cheerful heart. Sometimes it's hard, especially when we know we have big things coming up, when Christmas rolls around or somebody's birthday. That extra money that we need for that is definitely will make it a little bit harder to give that tithe that month. But we have to then think back to that we made this plan, and so we have to plan ahead as well, and be good stewards of our money and plan for Christmas gifts and plan for birthday gifts, make those savings accounts, so that we have the money when the time comes and that we can continue giving back to God, just like this widow did. And then we see that Jesus is telling about the destruction of Jerusalem, like what's basically to come. And after Jesus passes away and then resurrects, we have the destruction of Jerusalem by the Romans. So basically, the Jewish people try to rebel against the Roman government, and while they are successful, maybe at the beginning, eventually they fall to the Roman government. And so the Romans eventually surround this temple that was built all the way back in the Old Testament, and they light it on fire so it burns down to the ground. And Jesus prophesies of this and says, not a stone will be left of this temple. And what's important here, number one, is that the temple is just a building, but the people of this time were turning it into not only a place of worship, but a thing to worship. And so we have to be careful not to idolize even our church and our church building, that it is just a building and that the people are the church. And so if the building were to disappear, or the church name were to eventually become a different one, or it fell away as well, that we are the people of the church, the body of the church. And so that is what's most important. So not worshiping the church itself. And that can look different in different people's lives. It may mean that you are at church more than you are at home. And so that you are valuing church more than you are taking care of the home first. And God does call us to take care of the home first, and then, then church. That does not mean that your relationship with Jesus shouldn't be priority, but the actual going to church and the activity piece should be second to your home. So take care of the home first, make church a priority, And then Jesus tells about the persecution that the disciples are going to face. And then eventually, as Christians in the coming times, before Jesus' return, the persecution that will be faced. And there will be false prophets coming and people claiming to be Messiah. And that there will be people who fall to that. And I think that's where we end up with some of the churches that we see today that are following a different Jesus, a different God. And while they think that they are on the right track, they actually have been misled. And so we pray for those people today that they will see the true Jesus and the one true God. And so as you go throughout your day, just remember to be a cheerful giver, a sacrificial giver, and to ultimately know that Jesus will give us what we need when the time comes. Okay, hope you have a great day. Bye.